How's it going, everybody? Welcome to What's Working Now. I am so excited to have Ross Paterson of Xtra Performance on the show. Ross, how's it going?
It's going well. Things are hopping down here in Texas, and we're, fighting the good fight.
Nice, nice. I know, nothing has been out of the ordinary in the last couple of months. Just business as usual, right?
Yeah, yeah. We've been writing a lot about the situation, and I've been trying not to use words like unprecedented, the new normal, etc. So these are challenging times, but we got to kind of great leaders, great entrepreneurs. They rise up and they solve the next problem, right? The challenges they always seem as opportunities, and so for a lot of our clients, it's been pretty fun helping coach and consult and solve problems and helping them pivot and solve new problems, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just before the call, we were talking about that. Like you've actually been pretty energized, right? With having to coach all those folks through that. And I want to dig into that a little bit, but give me a snapshot of Xtra Performance, though, and actually what you and the company do.
Yeah, our big kind of just cause, as Simon Sinek refers to it, is that we want to make small and medium businesses the best places to work in America. So we got to have a solid leader in the front of the organization. They got to be focused, effective, and clear. They got to start building a team. So it's not just them, but this team who can get things done with them. And then, they've got to be able to evolve as the company grows. And I think the other thing that we're really interested in is we want to work with those entrepreneurs who want to make money, but also want to make a difference. So we're looking for those guys who believe, hey, we got this business in this community and we ought to make money and take good care of our employees and give back to the communities we serve. So we love that kind of extra miler, as we call them. That's Xtra Performance. So yeah.
I love that because I say this a lot on these in two people in conversations, but it's such a no-brainer to me, that these things aren't mutually exclusive. So many people are either one side of the fence or the other, profit at all costs, or business is evil and we can only do social good out there. And why that delineation is so strong for so many people, I don't know, but more companies, and fortunately that's been the trend, whether out of their own, I want to do this, or pressure, either way, I don't care. It's the trend is going that way to kind of bring both those things together.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty important, right? As an employer, as a business owner, or even just a leader in a business, you just have this great ability to influence your employees' lives, right? And make work fun, engaging, exciting for them, so they feel like they're doing purposeful, meaningful work. Even though it's hard, they'll still enjoy it. But that takes a real leadership gift, right? It's more than just get your job done, right? It's got to be, hey, we got a cause we're fighting for. Here's your role. Let's make a difference, rather than do your job, get something done so we can serve this client.
Absolutely.
You got to have a bigger picture.
Yeah, and then not just to have all of that and work with someone like you to sort of develop all of that, but then communicate it, get that message out to the team.
Yeah, I think if there's anything I've seen, anything that companies and small business need to be focused on now, it's just the communication, right? I can't give you a look out 8 months to January of 2021, but humans just crave that. Hey, show me the structure. Give me some structure. Give me some process. Give me some meaningful work to do, and I'll do it. And so I've been challenging people. Hey, we can't look out too far, but what can we get? What can we see for 90 days? Make your best guess and keep as much structure as you can, so people can do their best work.
And feel that safe and secure. Humans need we need that certainty, and we need new at the same time, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, you and I are both entrepreneurs, so the new is energizing to us.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who want this. They want steady, right? They want predictable. They want to know. They want to kind of stay inside the box. And for a lot of the work that has to be done in my company, and a lot of the companies, that's true. Even if the entrepreneur, business owner has to be a little more out there. But I think the humans, they want that feeling of autonomy, but within some security, and they want that connection, that community that some of them only get at work, right? Here's my family, but my community really happens vocationally. And it really takes a very intentional leader to build that kind of community inside of a small business. But our clients who have been able to be much more nimble, right? Because they got this high trust culture and they have leaders that are strong and developed underneath of them. And so when it's time to pivot, man, they got a much longer lever to pull so that, it's not everything's dependent on the leader moving every brick or the owner is moving every brick. So you got this high trust, you got these strong leaders. And so we have some ability to be nimble, to make a pivot and make it fast ahead of the competition. And other companies that aren't as far along in that process, the owner has to move every stone as they make this pivot, and it can be exhausting, it can be overwhelming.
Absolutely, and I think that's really what I wanted to specifically have you want to talk about is that in that description and that really building out those companies that way, helping them build out that way, because now not only can they pivot from an idea standpoint, like, oh, we should do this, but now all of those systems are in place to communicate that message down to now you do this, you do this. And I think that's phenomenal. Do you have an example of kind of like someone you've helped and coached through that on some of your clients?
Yeah, well, I think that, so one of our clients actually works in the senior living space, right? So they have 5 or 6 homes with residents that are highly at risk for the coronavirus impact. And so not only are they needing to have a challenge, but they have to change their whole process. No family coming, very strict process in who's having access to these residents. And all that has to happen without the executive team being able to come and go from the from the facilities. And so, hey, they really had to embrace technology. They had to do some video connecting, and you can connect with somebody on video almost as well as being there in person, way better than if you were just on your phone, right? So I think one of the things I've been teaching leaders is, hey, in this time when we have to kind of be separate and be isolated, use technology to stay connected. And so they've done a good job having a team meeting and use that technology to have a huddle with your team every day, maybe more frequently. If there's anything that I've learned from leadership in a crisis is that you need to move a little closer to the front lines. You need to communicate, probably 5 times as frequently as you did in the past. When we're running new plays, instead of things out of the old playbook, it takes a little more conversation and discussion to get people comfortable to go start moving and doing new things. But
feedback, right? So you can, spew a whole bunch of orders or directives, but if it's not landing the right way, then nothing's going to happen, right? And the only way for you to know that is to have that more frequent communication.
Right, and so even outside of like just a daily huddle and kind of getting the whole team on the same page, what changed, what's new, what pivots do we need to make today? I think the leaders, also have to kind of spend some time just one-on-one with their people, right? That's where you kind of do a little more of the, hey man, how's your family? How's this impacting, your extended family, or is your home okay? Do you feel safe? What are your biggest concerns? Because it's not just about communication, not just about directing and communicating the plan. It's about staying connected and listening and getting the feedback and letting the team see their feedback getting built into the plan. Then their commitment and their engagement go up, right? And if you already had a company that was proficient enough, that was skilled enough to operate like that, you're having a little easier time, managing this particular crisis. So
what if you don't? What if they haven't engaged with XM or anyone like you to come in and kind of really put these things in place? Is it something they can do in the middle of all this? What's that step?
Yeah, I think if you're operating in a company and you had low trust and low connection to each other, as well as low connection to kind of the purpose of the company, then this kind of environment where the whole operations gets upended and you have to restart and recreate a lot of things, it can kill an organization, right? There are companies that are shut down, right? They were barely making it. I mean, before this hit, it was a hot economy, right? You could have a pretty mediocre business plan and answer your phone and grow a business, right? I mean, let's be honest, right? A hot economy floats everybody up. But as soon as things get hard, if you're faking it, you're not gonna last through the correction. But if you're in the middle of the battle, and what I would encourage leaders to do and owners of businesses is take some time, just to have bagels and coffee, even if it's just virtually, and get the team on board and just kind of do a little connecting, a little more human. Like even after this crisis goes away, why would we stop doing that? Right? Make work more human. Make the connection with your employees one that's one not I'm not romantically in love with my team, but I love them, right? And I care about them so much that I would say, hey, listen, we need to start working back together as a team. But if you do not feel safe doing that or comfortable, we'll make adjustments, right? And I don't want anybody to do that. I said, okay, and if you don't feel safe, what do we need to do to make you feel safe? Give me some input. What changes could we make to do that? And some people are very comfortable, right? They think, hey, I can mitigate these risks. I'll be okay. Maybe they're not a high risk, or they don't have a young baby at home or something. So they're like, hey, let's go back to work. I'm ready to do it. And some people are very afraid. And so you have to allow for all that to happen, right? We can't, the last thing we need is more polarization, in America right now. And just like, hey, what do you feel comfortable? Make it optional for people to do certain things. And what you'll find is that they're encouraged by that. And the more you say, what do you feel comfortable doing? Let them answer that. And then, okay, well, let's do that. Instead of saying, this is what you're going to do. There's some things that we do better and faster and more efficiently with the virtual technology. And I think the situation that we're in forced us all to go get on that platform, right? That's the only way to do it. And then we figured out that, hey, this works pretty well. For 70, 80% of what we need to do, this is enough. And then where can we make up that difference? And maybe that's an opportunity for some added efficiency when things come back to normal. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm kind of an organizational design. I wonder what works. I'm kind of the mad scientist of small businesses, right? And so we're always watching. Oh, I wonder if this will work. I wonder if that will work. So I have a couple of my own businesses that I tinker with. But then the benefit I have is I'm watching 30 or 40 businesses a year wrestle through these problems. So our learning curve as a team is very high. Where most entrepreneurs are working on one business, I've been watching 25 or 30 for 10 years. We rarely get surprised until March of 2020. We got surprised. Yeah. We didn't have a playbook for any of this, right? So
right.
Yeah. But it's fine. But listen. But I think if you learn how to manage and lead in a crisis, there's certain steps that you take, right? Hey, what's changed? Inventory your team. Inventory your cash. Where's the new problem to solve? How do we have the resources to solve that problem? Can we get the resources to solve that problem? Let's go start solving that new problem. I mean, that's the entrepreneur, right? That's what we do. Hey, here's a problem. I could solve that problem. Okay, can I do that and make money? That's two different questions, right? I can solve this problem. Can I do that in a way that's profitable for me and for the client or customer? That's the ultimate question. People ask me all the time, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business. And I always just go back to these very simple questions. What problem do you solve? Who has this problem? How much is it worth for them for you to solve that problem? And it's very simple. But if we can't answer those simple questions, we don't have a business plan. And somebody says, Ross, I'm the best VCR repairman in the world. I'll say, well, that's great. Don't start a business. They need something else.
You got an awesome hobby, right?
Yeah, that's a great hobby, right? Right? Yeah, exactly. So we have to kind of, test that against reality. And the truth is, entrepreneurs thrive in this situation, right? It's the big companies that really aren't nimble enough to move, and the entrepreneurs are always thinking, oh, hey, look, there's a problem. I wonder if I can solve that, and they pivot, and they have a nimble team, and it's easier for them to do that, and they like doing it, right? Where some people don't, but.
Absolutely.
I don't know about you, but even though it's been stressful and at sometimes kind of overwhelming and exhausting, it's also, for me, it's fun. Hey, we're trying to save businesses. We're trying to, save jobs. The work we do matters, and that's energizing for me. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's getting the call, right? Like It's what you train for, right? And you can now jump in and really use all of your superpowers to go in and put them to the test. And that is absolutely energizing, and you can see in a very short amount of time big wins and actual impact really quickly.
Yeah, and it's also that's a real blessing too when when like some clients I've been working with for 5 or more years, I'm the one they call. They go, "Hey Ross, come look at this with me." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to come look at that with you," because they know we can bring some insight, maybe some ideas that will help them solve a problem. So, we're thankful that we have that reputation and can be out there to help people.
I love it. I appreciate you being on with all of this. How can people reach out to you?
xmperformance.com. We have a lot of good, really short blogs and lessons we try to put out there that is particularly around this, the current crisis. So go check out our blogs. If there's something specific that you heard today that we can help you with, you can reach me at ross@xmperformance.com. Be glad to, get on a Zoom call or Skype chat with you and try to help you think through some of the challenges you might be having. But anyway, I think that's our opportunity to kind of give back, to the country, to whoever needs help, and start battling back out of this thing. But I appreciate you too, Jason, letting me come on and share a few ideas.
Oh yeah, of course. This has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you all soon.
All right, man. Thank you.
It's Saturday night.
It was Saturday night and I'm feeling kinda silly. Winter coat on cause the air was chilly, but I'ma make my way out to the record spot. Gotta find some new breaks for the beats to rock. I gotta come with the flavor like some lifesavers. On now and late is Dr. Beatmaker. If I'm a player, it's like your tape deck. And if you miss the gig, then take a rain check. Stacks of wax piled high to the ceiling, need a U-Haul truck if I would think of